Yes. Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. My name is Lang Sai, as always. So today we're going over Genki Chapter 2, and this is purely the workbook walkthrough. Because we did Chapter 1 or Chapter Two's textbook edition on Monday, and today's Friday, so it should have theoretically given you guys enough time to hopefully, for those interested, work through the things on the workbook on your own, and now we can check our answers together. Being in an ideal world, right? Konnichiwa, genki desu ka? Genki desu yo, freak. Sochira wa genki desu ka? And that's all about all my Japanese. Perfect. Good. We're learning together. Although a prerequisite for this course, which is a word I use really lightly in this context, is knowledge of hiragana and katakana, because it's hard for me. I can't really teach those or tutor those over a stream, right? You have to kind of commit to learning those yourself. But this is still like the second chapter of the book, so you're not going to be, well, you might be overwhelmed, but hopefully we can work through it together if you're so interested. I haven't looked in a few years, but I just remember some for sure. Perfect. Yeah, so that's the great thing about this day and age, is that we don't have to have, this is more for kanji, but like we don't have to perfectly be able to write everything anymore. We can use text tools and computer IME inputs and stuff. So that's what saves me with kanji, but maybe it can work for you for hiragana, katakana as well. But toriaizu, introductions out of the way. This is the workbook, right? And it's available through ! Genki work in the Twitch chat. So that way you guys don't have to shell out money for the textbook itself. So without further ado, I will switch down the volume just a wee bit. Or is the volume okay? The background music volume, you guys? Anyone here? But yeah, so we will go through with Chapter 2, Lesson 1 in the workbook, numbers. So this is a brief review of the numbers. Sounds fine? Perfect. Glad to hear it. Thank you. So write the following numbers in Arabic numerals. So this is cool because it has us A, practice our hiragana reading, and then B, just writing the numbers. So the first one is 470. 470. So here I can type 400 means 400, right? So you have 400, and then 70, nana is 7, and then ju is 10. So 70 is 70. So 470, right? Not so bad. Number 2, 853. 853. So 800 is an irregular, right? Because it's 800, but with like 300, 600, 800, they're all irregular. So 300 becomes, so it's 100, 200, 300, 300, 400, 500, 600, 600, and similarly with 800, it's 800, not 800, 800. So with that reminder out of the way, we have 853. 50 is 50 and san is 3. 853. 1300. 1300. So we know that it's 1,300. And remember, with sen, it's not ichi sen, it's just sen. Even though it's only 1,000, we don't say ichi sen, like we don't say ichi hyaku, it's just hyaku. 1300. 1,700. So conversely, right, we don't say ichi-sen, we just say sen. However, when it comes to 10,000s using man, we have to specify ichiman. We can't just say man nanasen. It has to be ichiman nanasen. So ichiman, remember, is 10,000. For those of you using, or in like the Western world, generally we don't count using 10,000s, but in Asia it's quite common. My parents are Indian and I was born in the United States, but even India has like 10,000 counting too, which I didn't know. So thanks, Japanese, for teaching me about my own mother tongue that I can't speak very well. But, oh, stretch. 10-4 Soraka. Thank you for making me stretch. Today's gonna be long streaming. I hope to do the workbook review within an hour, probably around 1.5 hours, to work through the whole chapter at a nice pace. But afterwards I have a go match too, so we're gonna be here for a while. Okay, 17000, so it's 10,000 plus 7000, which is 7,000, so it's 17,000. Right? And the next one, you're welcome. No glasses. Yeah, I got LASIK, you guys, so now my eyes look a little bit freaky. Hopefully this still falls under the family friendly category, but basically I'm just down to like eye drops. So nice observation. Okay, 5番3612 3612. So this has like two irregulars, if we can call them that. So 3000, so 3000, 600, 600, 12, 12, right? Actually, I wonder if commas are the same. I don't think the comma usage is the same. I know in Europe they use like dots instead of commas, where we would use commas, they would use dots, and vice versa. Where we would use dots, they would use commas. But I'm not sure how the splicing is, so don't take my word on that. So that's what you called, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, mate, it's been a while. How are you, Coolio? Alright, 6番5898 5800違う5191 8うわ5198 5198. Okay, so we have 5198, right? 46900 46900 46900 40,000, 6,000, 6,000, 900. Perfect. I had to double check that because it's weird digits wise. Konbanwa, John. I totally didn't expect your stream to be so short. I was totally gonna, chime in on your stream and watch as I usually do. But my dad just switched from a Galaxy S7 to like an iPhone 10, so I was helping him, remove all the files. Boomer life, really. Yokoso, yokoso. Do you ever go to Japanese restaurants in the States and flex your Japanese? No, because they're not Japanese owned, at least not in my part of the States. If I go to the coast, maybe, but it just seems kind of pretentious. There's no real reason to, but good question. I often want to, I really do, but like it's just probably declasse, so not like great. How's it going? Genki desu ka? Genki desu. Ekura-sama, genki desu ka? Tsukaremasu. Tsukaremasu? That's okay. We're super short today. Yeah. No, I realized. I'll be happy to, tune in the VOD a little bit later, check out some sentences. I really do enjoy it. Okay. So, number 8. 9,210. Huh? Oh, yeah. 9,210. 9,210. 90,210. Okay, this is the fun part. This is where we get to edit the PDF. So write the following numbers in hiragana. So 541. How would we say that in hiragana? 500 is 500. Ah, shimatta. I was typing it in actual numbers. 540. 41. Haha. Isn't that cool, you guys? 541. Remember that the Jew part is an extended U sound? Don't forget those last U. It's very important. 俺も元気。起きてばっかりです。そうですか。まあよく寝れたといいんですが。 Yeah, Ekra, nice of you to join us, even though you just woke up. コーヒーでも飲んだらどうでしょうか? Okay, next one. So how would this be said in Japanese in hiragana? So it's 2736. 2736. 2700 is probably okay too, but 700 is easier too, so I'd probably use 700. 知らんけど. So 2736. 2736. Perfect. Oh yeah, about the restaurant workers thing. I used to work at Pepper Lunch, Japanese franchise, and had all Indo workers roll. It sounds about right. Here it's mostly Chinese owners, or if it's a little bit fancier than Korean owners. I don't know if there's any correlation there or not, but it's just what it is. In my state anyway. いえ、水だけ。そうですか。まあ、健康にいいですね、水は。It's good for your health. Water. Okay. So 8,000. How would we say that? It's not 8,000. It's 8,000. So that's like trying to trick us up. 8,000. 8,000. Q is long syllable. 100. Okay. 8,900. I'm pretty sure. Alright, 12345 was my password for a long time on my iPhone a long time ago. Please don't try to hack me. It's not my password anymore. But 12345, how do we say that? So we'd say in English 12,345. But we don't say 12,000 in Japanese. It's not junisen. It's ichiman. Ichiman. Nisen. 300 40 45. So I remember learning this, right, and filling out this workbook by hand, right, because I took this class in uni, and this was like literal just carpal tunnel waiting to happen. Like, it was so annoying to write so many moji, and like especially like because this is chapter 2, right? This is just after I learned hiragana, right? It was just so much work, and like making like the small tsu and everything, paying attention to these details. I got so many marked off my papers for that, like for these workbooks for that. Yikes. Relatable. Yeah, mate, honestly. Writing this by hand, even now, even if I'm like fully fluent in terms of like using hiragana, katakana casually, would still be a pain in the butt. Especially because there's no reason to ever write these. So like, even in Japan, right, even if you have kanji for these, like for example, this could also be written in kanji as 541. Oh frick, I actually typed the number go instead of anyway. 141. It will literally appear like this as I type it out. I have to select hiragana, and also this is obnoxious. You will never see sokka. The only time I would ever see kanji for numbers written out like this, like in this many next to each other, is like at sushi restaurants. Sometimes they write their prices in kanji. But like besides that, I don't think I've ever seen these kinds of numbers to get like these are all correct kanji, and this is like 100 is 100. It's all correct, but you would never really use it. They just use the Arabic numerals, so it's pretty redundant. But it's good practice for hiragana, and it's trying to make sure you know like the small tsu rules, like hassen, and then like sambyaku, like these kind of trip ups. I think that's why. I tried writing the other day and I got tired after 2 minutes. Yeah, when was the last time I physically wrote in Japanese? Oh, it's been a long time. A long time. I don't remember. Probably when I tutored last, actually. I used to write on the whiteboard. And even here, I got this little, not really fancy, but like a really simple tablet thing so I can practice my kanji theoretically when I stream for my own, knowledge. But if there's ever time for me to use it, I'll be using it in this kind of stuff too. Probably when it comes to like particles and stuff to give an explanation, but we'll see. Typing just makes it so easy for kanji, it spoils me. Oh yeah, no, okay, no. For kanji, absolutely. I'm talking even for hiragana and katakana, something I've mastered, you know. I still don't really write it. But yeah, for kanji for sure. Don't even like at me. I will use auto dictionary for kanji 10 times out of 10. Then the only embarrassing thing can be is like if I use the right kana, the right hiragana pronunciation for the kanji, but then the wrong kanji comes up and I select the wrong kanji. That's the only thing that can embarrass me, which is fine because it's better than not even being able to write kanji for like nomu, which is like one of the first kanji we learned. So anyway, I've been thinking of physically writing hiragana, but I haven't gotten around to it. Okay, so John, my take on that is you should absolutely write hiragana and katakana physically, because that much you should be able to, wield masterfully, no matter if we have computers, not have computers. Like, I think in order to be considered fully fluent with hiragana and katakana, what did my Japanese teacher say? And this is just one Japanese person's advice, and metric. It's pretty arbitrary, but he said you have to write all the hiragana, and ideally hiragana and katakana, but hiragana within 5 minutes, and not including like kyakyukyo, like those ones, not including those, but like just the basic hiragana within 5 minutes. Yeah, I want to be able to jot down quick notes. Yeah, for example. Okay, look at the pictures and complete the dialogues. So the answer is, to the question answer, the answer is 14000 yen 14000 yen. 14000 yen this. Even though it says N, colloquially pronunciation after sen, I think it becomes yen. Linguistically, I don't know why. Sorry. But 24000 yen this. 24000 yen this. So what costs 24,000 yen? Jitensha. So the question should be Jitensha wa. I'm not gonna use kanji, so Jitensha wa ikura desu ka? Jitensha wa ikura desu ka? And with kanji it would look like this. Jitensha wa ikura desu ka? The second part doesn't really change, but Jitensha wa ikura desu ka? And remember, we don't put a question mark after because ka is already a question. Karasu Morigan, thanks for the follow. Welcome to my channel. My Twitch stream. Yokoso. こんばんは、こんばんは。まあ、ここはまだこんにちはないけど、こんばんは。Okay, so next one we have the question and we have to answer it. So, カバンはいくらですか? So, as for the bag, how much is it? So, which of these is a bag? No, I'm just trolling. So, this is the kaban, right? How much is it? 3,600 yen. How do we say that in Japanese? 3,600 yen desu. 3,600 yen desu. And remember the period. I always forget, but yeah. I've been playing so much Yakuza that I see a bicycle and I just think weapon. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. Your brain is being rewired in subversive ways. You're going to be a domestic terrorist wielding only bicycles. There's a lot of picking up bicycles and hitting people with them in the street. Ah, yes. Probably not the most efficient weapon, but alas. Maybe when I see those advertisement boards, honestly, mad conditioning indeed. Genki yorimo Nihongo ga nani? Nihongo ga something umai no ni. Nihongo ga nani naro? Sorry, my kanji is pretty crap. Let me copy paste. Shoushou omachi kudasai. Yeah, I will fully admit to you guys, I don't know everything, obviously, especially not when it comes to kanji. So like, even at my level, which is not very high, I shouldn't say that, like worded that way, but I still have stuff to learn. So let's find out. What does this say? Noni tiu. Chou ka. Sonna kanji aru na. Okay. I didn't know that chou has this kanji, but it makes sense because everything freaking has kanji. Chou just means like super, hyper, extreme. Yeah. Like mecha chou. Chou umai ne kedo. Arigatou. So yutte kurete arigatou gozaimasu. Chou. Shikamo waza to kaite kuremashita shi. Arigatou gozaimasu. So yutte kurete. Ureshii desu. Okay, traffic cones. Traffic cones? Oh, another weapons? Hopefully not. Okay. But to answer your Karasu Morigan-san, I used Genki textbooks to learn, and then made friends with Japanese people, and then increased my Japanese from there. But it's good to start with the basics, and I think making these kinds of videos can be helpful for people. ですので、別に僕が勉強してるわけではないんですが、一応まあ練習みたいなことになりますし、このまあ配信を作って、そのボードの形をみんなに見てもらって、それはまあ役になるといいなと思いまして、この動画を作ろうかなと思っておりました。Yeah, so of course it's a good review for me to practice Genki, but I kind of made this more for everyone else's sake too. But also a good review. Definitely a good review. 10 out of 10 weapon だろうな。お元気で勉強中ではなくて教えてるね。まあそんな感じですよね。自分に言うと。まあそうですね。一応。まあでもいい練習になってるかなと思います。自分の練習はまあもっと漢字とかはね、特に勉強しないと思ってまして、それは後で別の配信でしますので、はい。I'm high-key introverted, so I don't want to talk to other Japanese people vocally. If you can see, you can't see because my headphones are covering it, but my ears are like pretty red because I was, assuming Karasu-san is like native speaker or at least really high level, so I'm a little bit nervous too. But if we don't put ourselves out there, we can't get better. So even if it's embarrassing or anything like that, they'll understand, right? Like if a non-native speaker comes to you in your native language, you're not going to make fun of them for not being able to speak properly, right? So with that in mind, and I know it's easier said than done, but it's a great way to improve. And I love the language, right? So why not practice it is what I'm thinking. I know that was like a big podium to stand on, but so you said to me this. A high-key introvert is a very Japanese mindset, though you'll be fine. Honestly, John, yeah. 俺より日本語うまいSage って何ですか？てかそんなことないと思うのですが、まあそこまで言ってくれたらすごく嬉しいです。ありがとうございます。I sort of treat by not 100% trying and being obviously bad at it when talking to natives. Ne? Yeah, but that's how okay, funny fact. I know most of you don't play Go or Eagle in Japanese, but that's how I feel when I play Go against professional players. I just like kind of half-arse it and they can't judge me, right? Because I haven't shown my true potential. But at the same time, I'm just kidding myself. So, Twitch のなんやの文字、絵文字だと思ったんだが、Sage で。あ、そうなんや。そっか。I probably haven't enabled that Sage emote, so I'm sorry. I also don't know what it looks like, but そうなんや、emoji. I mean, that's good and bad. Yeah, that's true typically. There we go. Horse Shaker. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. You save pride for losing more gains. Losing more gains is hard to think about, but yeah, you save pride, but like you don't really gain anything, right? Like probably, I can't speak for Japanese people. I'm not even Japanese, but probably if you speak to a Japanese person with bad Japanese, but you're trying your best, it probably means more to them. Or rather, if you speak to them with really bad Japanese and you're trying your best, they probably don't care that you're bad at Japanese. They'll probably still give you the tatemae, like Nihongo jouzu desu ne, mitaina. They'll probably still compliment your Japanese anyway. But yeah, it'd take a really odd person to be mad at you for not speaking not your native language at a perfect level, right? That seems like a weird thing to be. I'm not a native speaker, by the way. I'm British. Ah, so nan ya. Okay, I guess I can relax more. Karasu Morigan. Karasu っていうかまあハイキューぐらいかな like crows, and then Morigan obviously not Japanese, but at any rate, thank you for interacting with me and that making me practice my Japanese. I do try a bit at the same time. Native isn't going to correct you though. They will if you're their friend, and if they don't have to like be oddly respectful じゃなくて if they don't have to be like super katai formal with you, they will correct you if you ask them to. Depends on the native, I guess. italki be furiously typing corrections. Yeah, and like Hello Talk will also type corrections. And that's beautiful. That's great. But they won't be mad at you. Typing corrections is trying to help you because that's the premise of the app, right? They're not just trying to be, jerks and like correct you at every word. Cough. Have you tried speaking to French people? They get mad when you mess up the language. Yeah. I have almost no experience with it, but I've heard, like, in Paris, if you are a foreigner and you just assume that they speak English, they'll be, like, super, super jerks to you. Yeah. Yes, Brits are taking over chat. I don't have any friends yet, Sage. What is the Sage emote? Is it this one? The Omegalol? No, right? I don't know. We'll figure it out. 日本語能力試験に3何であるかも。僕は。あ、そうだね。僕と一緒ぐらいかな。漢字にとっては多分 N3 ぐらいかな。でも喋るのは聞き取り練習もまあ N2 かな。自分に言うと。まあ自分のこと言うんだけど。I'm like saying it for myself, but my reading writing is probably like N3 and my just like listening comprehension is probably N2. 知らんけど。Not that I know. Q ああ3級ですよね。確かに3級知ってるし I should know Q and done because I play Go, which is we use Q and done there a lot too, but yeah. Okay, let's go through this. 新聞はいくらですか？新聞は160円です。160円です。And don't get me wrong, I really like chatting and I will definitely do so. More than not, but just for today specifically, I have like back-to-back streams kind of thing, so I can't take more than 2 hours on this basically. And this is the first page, so you know, 160円です。Perfect. 160 yen. 9やろうな。これそれあれ。koso a words. This is with the これそれあれ. Right? We'll do koso a do for location, like ここそこどこ. Koko soko asoko doko as well next, but example, this is my pen. I should have kept the message as pen, pineapple, apple, pen, but this is my pen. Example, right? これは私の pen です. So the main focus is my pen, right? So how do you say my pen? 私の pen. And then what kind of pen? 違う, sorry. The focus is pen, which is just pen, right? So pen des. Perfect. Pen. It's a pen. What kind of pen? Watashi no pen. Watashi no pen. So my modifies pen. So to show possession, we have to say. So we can do it this way. Pen this just means it's a pen. What kind of pen? Well, if you ask that, then I have to specify it's my pen, right? Watashi no pen desu. And then that just means this. It just means my pen technically. To specify this is, we have to say これは私の pen です. Actually, to be most specific, to be most correct, we should probably use これが私の pen です, but that's definitely beyond the scope of the whole first textbook, to be honest. So, you know. 僕は読み書きがN2、2級だと思うのに、聞き話が3級しかではない。3級しかではない。3級しかではない。文法的に合ってるのかな。3級しかではない。3級しかない。3級しかではない。まあいいか。まあとりあえず意味分かったし。Yeah, I feel you. For me, it's the opposite, but like it feels bad, man, for sure. It made sense in my brain, and it made sense. Like if I heard it, I can understand it. Obviously, I'm not trying to critique either, but I was just trying to, you know, by pondering, I was trying to do that for me, not to like, you know, call you out by any means. I was just trying to feel it, you know. It's such a weird feeling when you're listening and reading are not on the same level. At least for me, yeah, no, for sure. It feels bad because I've said this before, but like I've taken Japanese interviews for like Japanese jobs. And on the phone, I passed the first interview, and then the in-person interview, I passed that interview stage, but then they have me writing or like reading a document. And like, if it was read out loud to me, I could 100% use the information and do what they want me to do with it. But for me to read it or for me to write from scratch is like impossibly difficult. So I'm just like answering their questions at like a conversationally fluent level, making perfect sense and everything. Of course, like with grammatical errors, but like, you know, making perfect communications in terms of like everyone's understanding what's happening. And then when I go to my writing, I look like a first grader. It's just really garbage. This feels so bad. I wonder if Japanese streamers have a word for derailing. I think it's what can this possibly? Wasu. Nani nani wasu. I'm not trying to remember the kanji. I'm just trying to think in context. What would the word be if it ends in wasu? Nani nani wasu. 知らん。あ、違う。狂わす。Whole derail a plan. Whole could be. I don't know, obviously. I've never heard this word, so that's cool. I'm learning words. Kuruwasu. Very nice. So it's gonna be これは pen です. It is basically. It is これは it's basically これは pen です, but like a little bit more information. What kind of pen? It's my pen. これは私の pen です. I mean, it made sense in my brain. Yeah. Kikihanashi is probably wrong though. だろうな. But it, looking at it, I could believe it. Interesting because as kids in our first language, we usually can speak and listen way before writing and reading. Just adult expectations we feel bad about. Yeah. No, for sure, because we're basically children in our non-native languages, right? Even after 4 years of study, I'm like probably with the equivalent. And the thing is, the sad part is I'm grammatically and conversationally probably equivalent to like an 8-year-old, but obviously I'm more mature than an 8-year-old most of the time. But an 8-year-old probably knows as much kanji as I do and can write it to boot too. So that's like, feels bad, man. I probably know less kanji than an 8-year-old. There's a not failed, but it's not a TV show anymore. But there was a TV show called "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?" And for me, it'd probably be, for Japanese, it's like, is your kanji as good as a second grader? And the answer would be no. Feels bad, man. We spend a lot of time just being a big fat sponge and mix of spitting out broken sentences. That's right, yeah. Annoying that yomikaki is a word, yet kiki hanashi isn't. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'll even read it as if it is a word, like kiki hanashi, but like just, it makes sense, right? Yomikaki is the noun form, right? Yomu to read, kaki to write. Yomikaki makes sense, right? Reading, writing. But kiki hanashi may not, it probably doesn't. Did you look it up? I'll look it up on Jisho to see if it exists or not. But kiki hanashi, we should petition to make it a word. As non-native speakers, we should be like, this should be a word. It's not. It's not, ne. I know kikitori is a word. Kikitori. ちょっと待ってくださいよ. Kikitori is a word. And that's like listening comprehension. But listening speaking. Yeah. Okay. Not listening and speaking. Yeah. Maybe it's implied. Shirankido. Okay, so this is just the example, right? So we're going to fly through this one. That is Ken's book. That. So you're the speaker and you're saying that. So それは hon desu. That is a book. Whose book is it? Ken-san. Don't forget the son. それは Ken-san no hon desu. Desu. Period. それは Ken-san no hon desu. If I had to read the sentence, I would hate it because there's no kanji. And like, that's the thing, right? That's the ultimate troll, is that when you are studying Japanese, even if you don't know all the kanji, at least for me, I would still rather the kanji I don't know be written as kanji instead of reading everything in hiragana, because it's just such a scramble for my eyes and brain to parse. So if I just read this without knowing it's a sentence, I would be like, それはHaken-san no hon desu. それはHaken-san no, and then I'd be like, oh, that's それは Ken-san no hon desu. But like if I were to read something else, just like, these are really short sentences, but like it's really, really annoying to parse. So I'd rather have kanji that I don't know and then I can look up the kanji than just a big string of hiragana. Pretty troll. Kikitori hanashi agari. That's agari reading, right? こう書いたら読みにくいね. Yeah. Exactly. こう書いたら読みにくい. めっちゃ読みにくい. 超読みにくい. しんどい. 嫌い. 嫌になる. Okay. What is that? Okay. So what is that? So it's pretty far away, right? So あれは何ですか? are wa nan desu ka? 3. Oh, maybe they did want number 1 to be the example. Wakariniku. This is so confusing because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then I guess they wanted the example instead too. So this will be like 1 pushed up, but if you're watching the VOD, please, keep that in mind. Is this meat the most BM thing you can say to a waitress? Is this meat? I paid for meat, but is this meat? これは肉ですか? 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 My man has a whole steak in front of him. He's asking if it's meat. This dude is like, are you sure? Is this edible? これは飯ですか? 食べ物ですか? 本当ですか? Sus. Okay, Mary and Takashi are talking, finally. Look at the picture and fill in kore sore are. Perfect. So, Mary's talking, right? It's important to note that Mary is speaking. Blank. Honyarara wa Takeshi no kasa desu ka? Takeshi-san no kasa desu ka? Takeshi-san no kasa desu ka? So remember, for English speakers, we can normally read Japanese like from not back to front, but like the predicate is the important part. Remember, like verbs go at the end of the sentence, so we can look at what's the important part of the sentence. Kasa, right? And if we know our vocab, kasa means umbrella. So is it an umbrella or umbrella question mark is what we can think of this as. What kind of umbrella? Takeshi-san no kasa. So is it Takeshi's umbrella? Honyarara wa Takeshi-san no kasa desu ka? So we know it's about Takeshi's umbrella. The only umbrella in this picture, Mary's holding, right? So for Mary, the umbrella would be pretty close to her, right? So in that situation, it should be kore. And it won't be, it won't be kono because it's not within the scope. But I know I explained that kind of quickly, but because it's going to be a VOD, hopefully you guys can, repeat it as necessary. And for those of you watching this as a VOD, feel free to pop in and ask me if you have any questions, or, DM me on Twitch, or join the Discord and ask me there. Self-plug. So, perfect. Kasa kanji looking like a literal umbrella. Yeah. Kasa's kanji is quite, pleasing to me. Like, I really like Kasa kanji's, shape. Like, it just makes sense. Same with ame, which for rain, and, hon. Like, these are just really, hon doesn't really look like a book, but in my mind, I've seen hon as book so many times that it just feels like a book to me now. But, yeah, kasa, ame, hon. Key, yeah, key is a good one too. They just feel proper. Even mori, right? 3 keys. 3 keys. Okay. Takashi says, Iie. Blank wa Michiko-san no kasa desu. So, still the same predicate, except for now instead of Takeshi's umbrella, it's Michiko-san's umbrella. But the important part is, now that Takeshi is speaking, it's not kore, it becomes sore. So, Mary's like, is this Takeshi-san's umbrella? Is this your umbrella? No, that is Michiko-san's umbrella. There we go. That's why it's sore. Blank. Meari-san no saifu desu ka? So now saifu is wallet. Whose wallet? Meari-san no saifu desu ka? And who's holding it? Takeshi. Who's speaking? Takeshi. So we know that it's close to him, so it should be kore. Kore wa Meari-san no saifu desu ka? My favorite kanji though is mush. It has the radical for insect, tree, and world. I don't know. Kanji, I hate. Kanji could be great. Let me look it up. Let's find out what that kanji is. Cho. Sokka, but not the cho like the super cho, but like butterfly. Like cho. Right? Cho, yeah. Butterfly. Maybe it's because... Oh, you even literally say maybe it's because I like butterflies. Damn. Different pitch accent. So nai. Ma. So narundaru na. Yeah, let me also specify for the VODs that I cannot guarantee pitch accent. Only thing I'm saying, the Japanese I speak is the Japanese I've heard in terms of that's what my brain remembers it as. I am not a phonetic master like Dogen, if you've ever watched his YouTube videos. And even more importantly, I mostly listen to that's not true. Most of my friends are from the Kansai area, so their pitch accents are a little bit different too. But I watch a lot of anime, which is normally Hyojungu, which means it's standard pitch accent. So my pitch accent 99% of the time will probably be wrong, so please keep that in mind. ということで Please refrain from posting links without permission. Silly karasu. But I'll permit you. 1 second. It's so annoying to type. Karasu morigan. Yeah, permission to post a link. A lot of anime. That'd be me too. Yeah. Anime is really... And this is a trope, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Anime, 90% of the time, is not correct Japanese. It's not realistic Japanese in terms of like how it's said, like the inflection and the pitch and everything, and even the vocabulary. But like in general, if it is correct, like I think Black Butler has good pronunciation and like stuff like that, then it's going to be standard dialect. So it's going to be like the neutral Japanese, the proper Japanese. Who? 聞いたことないし I've never heard of that. Lorenzi's Jisho. Okay, so if we type in Chol here. Chol. Oh, we can even listen to it, right? Ah, Chigaka. Close. Chol. Chol, maybe? Chol. Wait, give me 1 second. There was a really cool site. Chol. Can we make it? Can we listen to it? Voice input. Sokka. But no, this is cool. But just having it up or down doesn't show like the... It can't be like just straight up like Chol. Sounds weird, right? Shirankido. Affordable? News isn't actually any better in terms of reflection of real life conversation either. It depends. Yeah, it does. Oh, it does. Yeah, here it is. Whoops. So this means it goes down, right? So like Chol. Right? Chol. Or Muzu. Yeah. That's difficult. I mean, the reason is, so funnily enough, when I first learned, my teacher went above and beyond, and so the vocab list in Genki doesn't show the inflection, the pitch accent rather, but he gave us a packet that did show the pitch accent, and he would correct it, to a certain extent. But I never really tried to learn from it, so I will definitely stutter and mess up every time. But it'd be chol, I guess would be the pronunciation, chol. But in Kansai, it could very well be chol. So, I care about pitch accent a lot, but I also don't care about being strict about it because it changes from area to area, which isn't to say don't learn it. Obviously learn it, but like, a lot of Japanese is context based too, so that's important to remember as well. But thank you, Karasu. I'll use that in the future. Karasu is weird to call you crow, but watashi no zaifu desu. 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 Kill me. Takushi-san. Honyarara wa Takushi-san no jitensha desu ka? Is that Takushi-san's jitensha? Soko? I guess because this is even farther away, so this should just be Soko. Soko wa? Chiga. Sore wa? Takushi-san no jitensha desu ka? Sou desu. Honyarara wa nan desu ka? Yubin kyoku desu. So, are wa? Because it's far away. Are wa nan desu ka? Yubin kyoku desu. Does anyone actually ever say the noun though when they're asking those kinds of things? When asking those kinds of questions from before? Like you just say, これが高田さんのですか? Instead of the whole これが高田さんの傘ですか? If you're specifically holding the thing, yeah. But I've heard it both ways. Like you can still say kasa and stuff, but you wouldn't say like, それは, 高田さんのです. You wouldn't say like the whole thing back. But I've heard it, like if you're physically holding it, just be like, for extra details, you can be like, yeah, これは高田さんの傘ですか? You can still say that even if you're holding the kasa, I guess. I don't think it'd be weird or unnatural, but あれ? Not それ? なんだよ. Are not sore? Are not sore? No, this would be sore. Because are is like even farther away, right? Is that what you're asking? Not are wa, just are. Kore ka? Sore? This would be sore, I think, personally. Sore. And this would be are. Shiran kido. Depends on context. Exactly. And it's like the most it's the most annoying thing ever, is that everything depends on context, but you know, you have to be careful because there are a lot of things depending on context, right? Shoganai. Shoganai. No ginger. Just kidding. But thinking that they're next to each other, this is probably equidistant from both of them, right? So it'd still be sore. Nanyaro. I think you're right, but at any rate, it would still be, if it's between sore and are, it would definitely be sore. For sure. Like relative, because if you're still close to one another, it'd still be, yeah. Because she's not significantly farther from the Jitensha than Takashi-san, so I still think it'd be sore, but we can, you know, I don't know. I think someone has the textbook answer key, but it's a small, like, you know, I'm not going to die on this hill. I don't think it'd be the worst thing to say are either. っていうことです。知らないです。So it's the same thing, but kono sono nano. So let's try to make this more fun. I'm going to use a ridiculous accent that's totally not, you know, viable, definitely anime sounding. Yeah, maybe you wouldn't say either one of them. Yeah, it's true. いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。Welcome to my shop, TM. So pointing at watch number 1. I guess it's this watch, right? It says number 1. How much is this watch? この時計はいくらですか? 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 How much is this watch? Remember, we have to use, when we're using kono, sono, and ano, it has to be with a noun afterwards. So you can't say kono wa ikura desu ka? It does not work. You must specify a noun afterwards. If you're holding watch number 1, you can say kore wa ikura desu ka? Perfectly okay. Okay. But if you're using kono sono ano, it must take a noun afterwards. Kono toke wa ikura desu ka? Sono toke wa 3000 yen desu. We can verify that that is true. How much is that watch? Sono toke wa ikura desu ka? Sono toke wa ikura desu ka? Oh, this is one I'm not sure about. Is it toke or nani toke? Wristwatch. I don't know. But with the vocabulary, it's probably toke. I don't think I can't even read it. Let me read it first. I know it's probably it's probably gonna be wristwatch, because what else would you say in this situation? Okay, arm watch. Perfect. Wristwatch. It takes rendaku too. Udedoke. Udedoke. Pitch accent's so hard. It's so weird. It tastes weird on my tongue. Udedoke wa. Probably either is fine, right? But udedoke is definitely not in the vocab list. Kono pen wa pen desu. Perfect. Kono pen wa pen desu describes exactly how much information I normally get when I speak Japanese and ask for things in Japanese. How much is that watch? That watch is probably 2,800 yen, right? Kono, because it's probably close to them, right? Kono toke wa 2800 yen desu. Is how we would say it. Is how we would type it. Don't forget the periods afterwards. I keep leaving them off, even if the sentence ends in ka. But oh no, it's 800 yen. That's right. Yep. Customer pointing at watch number 3. How much is that watch? Ano toke wa ikura desu ka? Ano toke wa ikura desu ka? Ano toke wa 1500 yen desu. Perfect. decided on number 3 after asking about all 3. He's like, ah, okay. Ja, are o kudasai. Are o kudasai. Okay, sorry. You pronounce it perfectly though. So hard. It's hard because it's not like I can read it and interpret it, right? But like it's hard to internalize it, and it's also a little bit of pressure because I don't really have practice doing that on camera. But like I'm fine, obviously. But like it's hard because I'm not used to doing that practice. I think it's wonderful though. I really do. Why does this watch shop not have like those little label things that just say the price? I think. Oh, you're right. Those little tags or whatever. To be fair, those are often like yay big anyway. So like they'd be hard to see, you know. Cherry Pie Bomber, thanks for the follow, mate. Welcome. We're reviewing Genki Chapter 2 workbook exercises. It's a go through of the whole chapter. So feel free to chime in, ask any questions. You know, be polite, but welcome. Thanks for the follow. Hi, Goshi. So they can scam you. That's right. They don't have any prices, so you can get scammed. That's how I feel about fancy restaurants that have like their fish. They're like, oh, market price. And I'm just like, we both know that's going to be like 20% above market price. You digs. Okay. Bikkuri. Seana. True. Right? I speak truth. That's my name. Not lying aside, but my actual name, Satya, means truth. Satya, if you pronounce it like a brown person. Okay, koko, soko, asoko, dare no. So the last of the koko, ko, so, ado words, plus dare no, which means which, or whose, sorry, whose. You are B. Answers A questions with koko, soko, asoko desu. So we are B. Takeshi-san wa doko desu ka? Takeshi is this guy. Remember, when you go over... Oh, wait, it's not capturing my cursor. Hang on one second, guys. Edit, change... capture cursor. I didn't know that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so when you're used to Genki, you'll be used to their faces, so we know that this is Takeshi-san. So Takeshi-san wa doko desu ka? And we are B, so we'd say asoko desu, asoko desu. It's a really simple answer. I'll type it here so the people that watch the VOD will know that the answer is asoko desu, but you'd normally give like some other location, like, so for example, toire no chikaku ni arimasu, or imasu, or like Yamashita sensei to hanashite imasu. Asoko de Yamashita sensei to hanashite imasu toka. Yamashita sensei no tonari ni imasu, or something. But we haven't learned those location verbs, so for now we're just gonna be answering simple koko, soko, asoko, and then this. Lore time. Yeah, guys. This is 2 parts grammar, 1 part conversation. What are we doing this out of 10? 7 parts lore. Susan wa doko desu ka? This is Susan. She's Korean. Yeah, that's true. I didn't lie. Susan wa doko desu ka? Soko desu. Because you're person B. So the person asking would say koko desu. Or koko ni imasu, but we're soko desu because we're B. Roberto-san wa doko desu ka? Roberto is the British dude that I thought was American until last episode. Kappa. These streams are now episodes, guys. Roberto-san wa doko desu ka? Koko desu. You would normally say like, you know, watashi no ushiro desu, or just ushiro desu is fine. Just behind. Kappa. Toire wa doko desu ka? Asoko desu. Asoko desu. Why? Asoko desu, why? Okay. Your friends left their belongings in your room. Ask Michiko-san whose item these are. This, there's only 3, I'll just speedrun it. Michiko's answer is, それはTakeshi-sanの帽子です。それはTakeshi-sanの帽子です. So we're talking about, that's right, a cap. So you're asking, dare no? Oh wait, so first we can break it down this way. GB represent. Yeah, John Cullen, Great Britain represent. Okay, so I want to specify this and like stress this for beginner students, right? That's ideally who this stream and VODs are for. Although of course I welcome everyone. Well, almost everyone, right? I wouldn't really like some mean people in chat, would I? So I'll use the predicate first. So we'll say 帽子ですか? And then don't forget the ka, because we're asking a question, right? So boshi desu ka? What kind of boshi? Right? So the answer is sorewa. As for that, it's Takashi-san's boshi, right? It's Takashi-san's hat. So the question should be, kore wa dare no boshi desu ka? So, is it a hat? That's not the question we're asking. Whose hat is it? Almost there. As for this thing, whose hat is it? Perfect. Right? Kore wa dare no boshi desu ka? Perfect. Alright, so the next answer is, それは私の財布です。私の財布です。So the question should be, これは誰の財布ですか？財布ですか？財布ですか? Perfect. Flag emoji not appearing on stream. Yeah, I don't know what it is, because I've definitely allowed, like, it's not like I'm disallowing emojis, right? I'm genuinely very, very confused. Does it show for you guys? Like, I mean, the people who type it, does it show on your screen? It's just not showing up on my stream? I genuinely don't know. あれはメアリーさんの傘です。So, we know that it's a we're asking about a umbrella, but this one's the only one that can trip you one up. We have to pay attention to are. Are means it's far from both of us, right? So my question should have are in it. Are wa dare no kasa desu ka? Are wa dare no kasa desu ka? Are wa Meari-san no kasa desu. Perfect. I presume it's one of my plugins that shows it. I don't have Frank TTV, or what is it called? Frank better. I have better TTV, but I don't have Frank or whatever it was called. Shiram. So this is my favorite part. Not specifically in this book or whatever. It's my favorite part. Is grammar. I really like grammar. It's really fun and mathematical almost for me, and I don't even like maths, but like it just makes sense in my head. So like this is fine, but this is just like, you know, basic stuff. But this is the stuff. This is the meat and potatoes, in my opinion. Because now we're talking like full sentences, and that's hot. Full sentences are just so hot. Might be FFZ. I have both. Okay. I'll probably figure it out. I just didn't like any of FFZ's like emotes, so I was like, meh. But yeah, good to know. Thank you, John. Okay. So noun mo, if we remember, means also, basically. And I'm walking through this in, like, with the understanding that you have either watched the VOD for the Chapter 2 run through, or like you understand the contents of Chapter 2. But mo means also in this situation, kind of. Please don't remember mo meaning also in general, because particles can be really wishy-washy. And they're difficult, and I'll definitely make a stream just on particles in the future when we learn enough of them and they get confusing enough. But for now, we can think of it as also. And then noun janai, remember, is the negation of des. So it's like the opposite of des. It means it's not something. And there are different ways of saying it, like dewa nai desu, dewa arimasen, ja arimasen. But for now, we'll use janai desu most of the time. Sentences, right? Most it hits different. Okay, so Miss Tanaka is Japanese. Mr. Yoshida is Japanese too. So how do we say Miss Tanaka is Japanese? So Japanese in this sentence is not Japanese language, it's Japanese nationality person, right? So the predicate should be Nihon jin desu. Nihon jin desu, right? That's the predicate. Nihon jin desu, Japanese person. Who's the Japanese person? Miss Tanaka. So Tanaka-san wa Nihon jin desu. As for Miss Tanaka, she is Japanese, right? And now we can use the first one we learned, noun mo. So the predicate should say the same, right? Because they're both Japanese person. So we can say Nihon jin desu. Nihon jin desu. Who is Mr. Yoshida. So oh wait, I shouldn't make another text box. So here we can say Yoshida-san wa. If we say this, it's not wrong, Yoshida-san wa Nihonjin desu. But in this situation, what we're learning is noun plus mo, right? If they're both Japanese, then this wa we can switch out for particle mo. So Tanaka-san wa Nihonjin desu. Yoshida-san, あ、違う、間違えました。Yosaだ。Yosa, he? I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't even look at what I was typing. 恥ずかしい. I'll clip it out. Just kidding. Okay. Yoshida-san も日本人です。Yoshida-san も日本人です。Thanks for the hydrate and stretch. I definitely need it with this level of mistake. Man, I really like Japanese. Like, even if this is theoretically an instructive stream, I really like even if it's basic Japanese. I really like Japanese, you guys. It's really fun. Thank you. Okay, Miss Tanaka is 20 years old. This one is kind of fun. I even have some background supplemental information for this. So let's do it with the predicate first, right? So 20 years old, right? We know that honyarara sai is the predicate for the suffix showing age. So nijusai, remember that niju is how you say 20. So it becomes nijusai, which I don't know if is learned. I think it may be like a set phrase, but anyway, nijusai, and I'll teach you guys something else too. Nijusai. How would you say this in hiragana? Nijusai desho? Nijusai, right? But it doesn't want to put it as in niju. Ha? Nande? Sorry, when I'm typing nijusai, it keeps showing me nijus, like ni in hiragana and then jusai for some reason. So I'm gonna make sure I'm spelling it right. Nijusai, right? It should be like this. Maybe not, right? Nijusai. Is it just nijusai? But 10 years old is jusai, right? We can see that this kanji appears. But why is it nijusai? Nice. So it's looking like Tuesday, 12 p.m. CST then. Guys, I have never written so it's looking like Tuesday at 12 p.m. CST then. CST is my time zone, but what the hell kind of like... What kind of... Such a weird suggestion. Anyway. This is kind of ridiculous, but... Jeez. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it can be nijusai. I'm just gonna override it. Okay. Nijusai desu. Who is it? Tanaka-san, right? Tanaka-san wa? Shimatta. Hang on. Tanaka-san wa? This is, concentration at its finest. Okay. So here's my supplemental information that I'm sure I've made you guys wait enough. Hatachi is right. Yeah. I thought it's like niju. It is niju. But when you add sai after, so for example, 10 years old is not jusai, it's jusai. So nijusai should be nijusai. And it is. You guys are absolutely right. Chat beat me to it. Another way of saying nijusai is hatachi. Hatachi also means 20 years old. Specifically 20 years old. And the 20th day of the month, you can say niju nichi. That's fine. And you can say nijusai too. It's not wrong. But the more common pronunciation is either hatachi or hatsuka for days. The 20th, for example. But yes, for this sake, I will use nijusai because I think hatachi isn't introduced as vocabulary. So I want to keep it, continuous for the VOD. So Yoshida-san mo, don't forget san. Yoshida-san mo 20歳です。吉田さんも20歳です。Hey Zogi Zogi. Yeah. I'm really sus that it wouldn't let me say this in hiragana or wouldn't show me hatachi as kanji, but Yeah. Hatachi is what you can say to flex. You know, Japanese will be like, ah, you know this word hatachi, you must be pera pera, pera pera, which is an onomatopoeia, which means fluent. Pera pera. Your tongue is like pera pera. It's like if flaps, your tongue flaps, like rolls. It's like this motion, but like specifically for your tongue in your mouth. So pera pera. I know, guys, and this is a family-friendly stream. Can you believe it? I just, you know. Right. Pero pero is lick. Pero pero is lick. I believe it. I guess. I don't. That's one thing I want to learn on my own is besides kanji is like Japanese onomatopoeia and yoji jukuo, 4 kanji phrases. But pero pero. Ma, とりあえずね. This dictionary is 2,000 yen. That dictionary is 2,000 yen too. So, この実証は2000円です。Period. この実証は2000円です。その実証も2000円です。And you'll notice sometimes I'm putting periods and not they all need periods, you know, like I just being a little bit lazy. これは it should be これが but anyway これは私の自転車です。これは私の自転車です。それも私の自転車です。I know I'm going a little bit fast, but you know I have to crunch a little bit. Damn, I really like Japanese onomatopoeia. Yeah, mate, they're super great until you don't know what. Oh my god. Okay, so here's my little spiel about Japanese onomatopoeia. They're super amazing and wonderful and benri as hell. Benri means convenient. It's an adjective. Benri. Super, super convenient. But the thing is, right? So many verbs can be replaced with Japanese onomatopoeia that if you don't know Japanese onomatopoeia and you hear someone use that sentence in which a verb is replaced with that onomatopoeia that you don't know, you'll be like, what the actual hell does this sentence mean? Or what the actual heck are you saying to me? And it's really like a two-sided sword. So you have to know them, right, to use them or to listen to them. Okay. Takeshi-san no senko wa rekishi desu. Period. Takeshi-san no senko wa rekishi desu. Watashi no senko mo rekishi desu. Okay. Watashi no senko mo rekishi desu. So remember when I said like when there's like a tilde representing like a blank space, I can say most people say nani nani and then whatever is being read, like the blank space is read as nani nani. Or if you're like old school cool, aka shibui, which is one of my favorite words in Japanese, shibui, then it can also be read as honyarara. But anyway, when it's two circles, a circle in Japanese is maru. So literally two circles be maru, which is also really fun to say. Maru. Okay. So number 1, and it even says here, maru is read as maru. Number 1, maru-san wa kaishain desu. Kaishain desu ka? And kaishain is office worker. Maru-san wa kaishain desu ka? And we're answering in the negative. So these are all personal questions, so it's my name. So sai should be written in this way. Yeah, sai-san, sai-chou. So you shouldn't say sai-san. You should just say watashi wa. You should just say watashi wa. You shouldn't say this. Okay, so watashi wa, because they're all about me, right? Haha. Watashi wa kaishain janai desu. And the cool thing is, like, so for example, John, if he's still in the chat, John spent a lot of time knowing the kanji. So that way, when I type watashi wa like that, he knows it's correct. But like for me, for example, if I type watashi wa kaishain, it's more familiar if I see it like this with the kanji in. Even if I don't know this kanji, I would rather read it like this and then look up the kanji then read it all like this in hiragana, because it's hard to read in hiragana like this when it's not, split up, because then it's just sounds, right? It doesn't feel like words, it just feels like sounds. So okay, I'm gonna delete this so this is not confusing. No, Control Z. Nice. I'm gonna delete this part so it's not confusing in the bottom. Yeah, I recognize when I see them anyway. Exactly. That's what I aim for. Nihonjin desu ka? Iie. Nihonjin janai desu. America jin desu. Ah, this should be in katakana. Mendokusai. America jin should look like this. America jin desu. For the interest of time, I'm going to answer these out loud, and you guys can check your answers, presumably that you've done them. Maru-maru-san no senkou wa rekishi desu ka? Iie, rekishi janai desu. Nihongo desu. No, it's not rekishi, it's Japanese. Are wa maru-maru-san no jitensha desu ka? Iie, are wa watashi no jitensha janai desu. Janai desu. John-san no jitensha desu. Remember, because all these have to be answered in the negative so we can practice the janai desu form. Sore wa watashi no kasa, maru-maru-san no kasa desu ka? Iie, watashi no kasa janai desu. Watashi no kasa janai desu. And I guess I can explain it this way. Literally, if you just drop this and replace it with janai desu, it will work. So you don't have to overthink the janai desu part when it comes to this level right now. It'll be more confusing with adjectives and stuff, but you can think of it as drop des and replace it with janai desu. Drop des and replace it with janai desu. So if I would say iie, or if I say watashi no kasa desu, I drop des and I keep watashi no kasa. Keep that and replace desu with janai desu. So watashi no kasa janai desu. Perfectly okay. So watashi no kasa janai desu. John-san no kasa desu. So yeah, it's okay in typing, but not in writing. Oh. So I have a treat. Wait, let me check how much more is left in chat. Okay, perfect. We can do this. So I have a treat. When I bought the textbook for school, right, for uni, it came with the CD. And at that time, my laptop still had a CD player. Now, none of my devices have any kind of things to play a CD because, haha, so old. Not a boomer, TM. But what I've done was, I found a website, aka YouTube, that has the listening workbook exercises. So, we're going to listen to that and then try to, answer the questions. Yeah? So, it should be good. Hopefully this volume will be okay, but... YouTube, I'll Google it. Yeah, this is just for chat, I guess. This is the literal video we'll be using to. I think this dude uploaded all of the workbook and textbook, like listening comprehension things. So that's great. So yeah, kiki renshu, listening comprehension, or listening practice. Listen to the dialogue at a kiosk and find out the prices of the following items. If you can't find out the price, indicate such with a question mark. So we have the following items: shinbun, kasa, choco, or chocolate, cola, and gum. Oh, okay. Gum, literally gum, like chewing gum. Which I haven't really read in Japanese before. Normally I see gomu, so I was like, well, shouldn't this be go and there should be like a eraser or rubber? But no, it's gum. Okay. So now we're going to listen to a conversation or whatever it is, and we're going to try to figure out the prices from listening. Let's do it together.
Listening comprehension. A.
すみません。ガムください。100円です。どうも。
新聞ください。
80円です。
この傘はいくらですか
1000円です。
じゃあ、これください。
どうも。
すみません。コーラください。
はい、120円です。
right? So if we could listen properly and digest that information, please check your answers and make sure that they'd be the same if you guys could possibly have done them. But even not, it's good to have listening comprehension. So B.
たけしさん、私の友達のクリスティ田中さんです。
Okay. So like a small test taking tip / exam. If you have the time, right, we should read these questions and listen for what we're trying to answer, right? So the question is, Christy, right, will be the thing for all these sentences, the topic, the person, right? Christy-san wa Amerika jin desu ka? Is she American? Christy-san no senkou wa nan desu ka? What is her major? Christy-san no otousan wa Nihon jin desu ka? Her dad's nationality. Christy-san no okaasan wa Nihon jin desu ka? And her mom's nationality. These are the topics, right? So that way we don't have to rush to read them over and over again. We can prepare, our ears to listen for this information. So let's listen.
はじめまして、クリスティです。
はじめまして、木村武史です。クリスティさんはアメリカ人ですか？
いいえ、アメリカ人じゃないです。フランス人です。パリ大学の学生です。専攻は英語です。
そうですか。クリスティさんのお父さんは日本人ですか？
ええ。
お母さんはフランス人ですか？
ええ。そうです。
Okay, so that was fast even for me. Like I listened and absorbed the information, but if I were to listen and writing it, it would not be like instantaneous, right? So I have to re-listen to it. So even now, if you read the sentence, I wrote it in hiragana where it's supposed to be katakana, right? Amerika jin desu. Amerika jin janai desu, right? She's not American. She's French. So Franz should also be written in katakana. Furansu jin. ちょっと待ってください. Please wait. フランス人です. Okay, does anyone remember her major? If not, we can re-listen to it.
ええ。
日本人ですか？ですか。
専攻は英語です。
専攻は英語です。専攻 we can write just like that. 専攻は英語です. So theoretically, we would be answering this with janaidas, so I will do that because we learned janaidas in this chapter, but in the future we don't. Oh no, we don't. Sorry, because they just ask in general what is the major. So 専攻は英語です. 英語. That's right. 英語です. Perfect. So now the next question is we're asked about is if her dad is Japanese.
そうですか。クリスティさんのお父さんは日本人ですか？
ええ。
And this is the word which looks like this. Literally two e's together. So we know that her dad is in fact Japanese. So 日本人です。日本人です。
お母さんはフランス人ですか？
ええ。そうです。
Good. So even though she said so des, the question that was asked of her was, is your mother French? Is your mother French? And here the textbook, the question that we're being told to answer is her mom Japanese? So even though she said yes, it was to a different question. So いえ、日本人じゃないです。フランス人です. Right? We have to be careful. Her mom is French. Yeah, that last one threw me off the first time. Yeah, that's right. It's a little tricky, but that's why we learn, right? Final conversation. Mary and Takeshi went to a Japanese restaurant. They are looking at the menu.
C.
メアリーさん、このレストランの天ぷらは美味しいですよ。
So このレストランの天ぷらは美味しいですよ. As for this restaurant's tempura, it's delicious. So we can look over here, right? Because it says tempura. Oh my god, Mary and Takeshi. Yeah, right? It's the precursor to everything. Date time, sort of, right? Sort of.
天ぷら？天ぷら
Also, I just want to say Mary is like super Japanese. Like the voice actor for Mary is definitely Japanese. Obviously, I'm sure you guys knew this, but it's just funny. The plot thickens. Yeah. Yup. Hopefully there's some soup that can also thicken. Kappa. Just kidding. That was terrible. Please don't leave.
プラはいくらですか？
1200円ですね。
1200円ですね。1200円。
すき焼きは何ですか？
すき焼き。
肉です。
肉です。
いいですね。
Sorry. すき焼きは何ですか？ What is すき焼き? It's meat. Ah, nice. It's meat. So, I love it. It's great.
すき焼き。3000円？
Ah, okay, okay. So here, 3000 yen? She's shocked. 3,000 yen for sukiyaki, which makes sense because shit's expensive. 3000 yen?
高いですね。
高いですね。
そうですね。
そうですね。
うどんは600円です。
うどんは600円です。So you go to a store, you're like, how much is this thing? 3,000 yen? So freaking expensive. And then they're like, yeah, you know, it is pretty expensive. Here's some noodles for 600 yen. Maybe that's more in your budget. Just casual BMing. It's great. Okay, so mark the maru if the statements are true. Mark batsu if it's not true. Batsu is X, right? Maru is circle. Sukiyaki has fish in it. Is that true? No. It has meat. No. It has meat. Mary thinks sukiyaki is expensive. You damn tootin'. Yes, she does. Wait, why did it come out as a circle? Why is it a square? This is false advertising. Wait. Bro, these are coming out as squares. Stop. No. I've been lied to. Oh no, what do I do? It's supposed to be a Nani? Look, it literally shows on as the cursor, it's a circle or well an ellipse or whatever, but like it's coming out as square. I feel duped. Okay, well, anyway, we'll have to make deal with this. Both Takeshi and Mary ordered udon. That's a good question. We haven't listened to that part yet, have we?
じゃあ、私はうどん。
じゃあ、私も。
Ah, see, they used the watashi mo. Watashi mo. So you might be asking, what does watashi mo mean, right? Watashi mo by itself. So Mary said, ja watashi wa udon. She's not saying I am udon. In context, it's like I choose udon, right? I'll have the udon. And Takeshi-san, watashi mo. And this mo means me too. I'll also have udon. Which brings me to my next point, right? In English, right? We won't say like, if I say I'm 20 years old, and someone standing next to me, they'll be like, oh, me too, right? They won't say I'm 20 years old too, right? They'll just shorten it. It's the same with Japanese. So Takeshi and Mary said, Takeshi said, watashi mo. Even though the predicate was left off, we know that because it's the same as Mary, the predicate is the same as Mary's, which is like, oh, I'll have the udon. So Takeshi will also have the udon. Pretty natural, but like just might be confusing to hear for the first time. So this is correct. Both of them chose the skimpy 600 yen udon. Ta-da. And so that was relatively painless, right? Are we sure she's not udon? Plot twist. The soup thickens, Kappa. That was yikes. Okay, but it's really important to note. So that was cool. We were able to do a listening comprehension thing too. I think this is the final page of... Oh, and then next week is verbs. That's so awesome. We're going to learn verbs. Verbs are really important, guys, so definitely come back for that. It'll be really interesting, and I can like even whip out the drawing tablet to explain stuff, hopefully. We'll see. When you like your soup is spicy. Yeah. Poor Takeshi doesn't even realize that dating an udon. Yeah. Thick buckwheat. No, is that soba? I keep forgetting. Anyway, yeah. Doesn't even realize. Let me put my sweet, sweet Celtic rock back on. Okay. God, I really hope it is in fact copyright free like it's advertised to be. Otherwise, this is going to be the worst VOD ever. Everything's just muted in DMCA. Yikes. Okay. Dai Nika. Nana. Seventh part. Kotaemashou. Let's answer. Kotaemashou. Or just questions because we don't know verbs yet. But let's answer questions. Yeah. Answer the following questions in Japanese. So this is really great too because this is like an amalgamation of everything. You have to integrate everything you've learned so far in the chapter and even in previous chapters to answer these questions. These are the best parts of the workbook in my opinion. So let's answer these questions in Japanese, obviously, because we read the instructions. Nihonjin desu ka? Nihonjin desu ka? So you might notice that there's no anata wa Nihonjin desu ka, or Meari-san wa Nihonjin desu ka, or Sue-san Nihonjin desu ka. There's no subject, right? And when there's no explicit subject listed or written, we can assume they're asking about you, the listener, right? So, Nihonjin desu ka? Chances are you're not Japanese, right? And they know this. These book writers, they know this, right? Because if you were Japanese, why the hell are you doing Genki, right? So they want you to use Iie Nihonjin janai desu. We should answer the question with the negative, right? Iie Nihonjin janai desu. So already we've incorporated chapter 1 and 2 elements, grammar and vocab, right? Nihonjin janai desu. Now you should tell your nationality, right? Amerikajin desu. Amerikajin desu. Except for we don't know this kanji. Amerikajin desu. Hey, right? Well, I'm level 0 Chinese person, traded it for English, I guess. Hey, you know, what can you do? Sometimes we sell our souls to the devils for no reason. And sometimes we just do it to understand anime without subtitles, or read books without, you know, denki jisho, electric dictionaries. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm not gonna lie. I just started that sentence and it ended in a weird spot. So, とりあえず、2年生ですか? Are you a second year student? Yeah. I'll just say 4年生です. I'm not a fourth year student, but this way we can practice 4年生 instead of saying 4年生. 4年生. We dropped an N here, so we can practice that. 4年生です. 専攻は経済ですか? 経済ですか? As for your major, 専攻は, is it economics? はい。経済です。経済です。Yes, it's economics. お母さんは日本人ですか? 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 日本人 Anyway, is your mother Japanese? いいえ、日本人じゃないです。うわ、this is so annoying to type. 日本人じゃないです。日本人じゃないです。日本人じゃないです。インド人です。インド人です。お父さんは何歳ですか? お父さんは何歳ですか? お父さんは How old's your dad? お父さんは Oh, my dad's birthday is in like 5 days. 74歳かな? 74歳です. I should type it out in hiragana, right? 74歳 ?74 歳 74歳です. 74歳です. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Probably pretty accurate though. My dad's pretty old. 日本語の本はいくらですか? So presumably it's asking, so how much is a Japanese textbook or Japanese book? We can make up any number. It doesn't matter. What's a good number? We'll say it's a really expensive book. 4万2000 4万2000 69円です。9円です。And what is that in numbers? Anyone? 4万2000 69円です。高い Don't forget your last E there. 高いです。そうですね。高い Good. Yeah, in dollars it's about, you know, $420. 42万。あ、違う。4万2069円です。高すぎだろうな。買わないでください。Don't buy this, please. 買わないでください。 まあそういうもんやろ. That should be about it. Next we'll learn next Monday, we'll go over chapter 3. It might become a longer stream because verb conjugation there's a lot to talk about. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Verb with places too. Okay, we're really, picking up the pace here. Yeah, one chapter a week's pretty good. You guys will be learning a lot, but right now it might be easy. But if you don't have a good grasp of the basics, what's to come will really mess you up. So I really encourage you to study on your own time. And again, if you have any questions, join the Discord, and ask me there, or, research by yourself as well, of course. But yeah, we're going to use some particles, toshokan de. And if we're using verbs with places, so yeah, we'll learn particle de. We'll learn ru verb, u verb differences in conjugation. Time references means we'll need the particle ni. Yep. Talk about our day, translating masenka. So we'll be learning like invitations. Imagine you asking someone out. This is where the plot thickens between Takeshi and Mary, I guess. Frequency adverbs, which are very good too. So like daitai, tokidoki, yoku. Words that really, help you imply meaning. Get meaning across. Frequency adverbs, very, very important in English. Like sometimes, often, rarely, never, always. These words are really important, right? Even though we don't really pay attention to them. So they'll be good. And then listening comprehension will be harder. I'll try to find that. Probably YouTube. Quite a bit. And then, this is the workbook. Okay. I mean, but of course the textbook has to cover these topics. Otherwise you can't be, you can't do a workbook on it. And that's it. I shouldn't say that's it. That's a lot. So we'll learn some basic verbs. The difference in u verbs, ru verbs. We'll learn some irregular verbs. We'll learn particle de and particle ni. Time expressions and just a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. I look forward to that. It'll be a very nice review. But yeah. So this has been Chapter 2 workbook. Answer your work through. And hopefully you guys don't have any questions, or if you do have any questions, please type them and we'll talk about them. Yay, conjugation. Yeah. Oh, verb conjugation. I'm sweating already. Don't sweat it. That's why we're here. I just saw the sentence, Mary does not eat much, and I just started laughing, thinking over here she only eats cheap udon. Yeah. 800 yen no udon shika tabenai desu. She only eats 800 yen udon. Not really important, but hatachi is the age vocab. Oh, okay, that's good. So we can go down here. Thank you. I didn't really memorize the vocab, what's actually in the list or not, but that's very good. Okay, so we should absolutely use doko ni ita? Where did it go? Hatachi. Okay. So instead of saying 20 the word for 20 years old is hatachi. Thank you so much for looking that up, Mooballs. And so this is where it gets annoying. To not even about kanji, but for numbers. Because you'll see them right next to each other, right? Tanaka-san wa hatachi desu. If you know that's what you're saying, and you know that's what you're reading, it's easy to read. But if I look at this for the first time, I'd be like, Tanaka-san hatachi desu, is what I might read it as. And that's just embarrassing. So, but it's good to write it out, especially because theoretically we're learning hiragana still and implementing hiragana. So, but thank you very much, Mooballs. MVP indeed. まあっていうかね。ここで終わりましょうか。今日はこれで終わります。This will be the end of today's Genki installment. Please tune in on Monday, probably right after John's stream. So if you're free for a couple of hours before my stream, which will be listed on my schedule, and that way it'll have it in your local time zone so you guys can know better. I'd highly recommend checking out John Cullen, who's also been active in chat. He streams Japanese every day, like clockwork, which is, something I should be doing, theoretically. But yeah, I'm not going to call myself out on my own gosh darn stream. But yeah, thank you guys for coming, keeping me company. And for those watching the VODs, come check us out live, or if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. But with that, I'd like to end today's stream. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you on Monday, or earlier, but Monday is the next installment of the educational stream anyway. So thanks for streaming. Thank you very much. Lion Guy Sai signing off. Oh wait, this is great. Sayonara, which is not the right greeting or saying goodbye, but that's from the previous streams if you want to check that out. This is a really long goodbye, but basically I'll catch you later.